Alright! Welcome to NCCL Season 6 Playoffs Round 2. We're in. Is this? This is semi-finals. Yes, semi-finals. We beat this one and we make it to finals. So, okay. This is going to be an interesting matchup. We lost this game last time. This is against DrStrangeMcDuck, who, if my memory serves me, went either nearly or completely undefeated in the main season. And he only happened to beat us by like 8% on Lycanroc, so... And like a hurricane miss, so... Yeah, that was fun. So, I got an interesting team this time. It's pretty similar to the last team from the time we fought him last time. But instead of Regidrago, which, while a fun mon, I don't think could reasonably sweep with Weavile, Lycanroc, Togekiss, and Empoleon being that bulky. So instead, I brought Melmetal. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So originally this Torn set was Nasty Plant, but then I realized that Weavile still exists, and so does Lycanroc, so getting this wouldn't really work as a good breaker, so this is just here as a stall breaker that can that's supposed to switch into Venusaur and not miss Hurricane, because that happened in the mock and that did some bad stuff. So yeah, Air Slash, Focus Blast, U-turn, and Taunt. That's the moveset. I'm modest. I'm not speed creeping for Lycanroc, because I sell Rock anyway. I wouldn't stay in on it, so yeah. Then we got Florges, the same set as last time, full Fizz Def to be able to take on Weavile and Garchomp. It's just mostly here to be Cleric and heal off the inevitable Toxic that come our way. We have here Crocodile. It's a lefty set. I was originally thinking Chople. I'm still pretty considering it, honestly. But I want leftovers to be able to more reliably switch into Rotom Heat, Overheat. Rotom Heat, Overheat. Rotom Heat, Overheat. Rotom Heat, Overheat. Okay. Yeah. Chople Berry was for Lycanroc close combat, but I think Mega Dude Bro can probably handle it. And also we got Big Nut with the Chople Berry, and Big Nut can definitely handle the Lycanroc, undeniably. It's got Toxic, Double Iron Bash, Rock Slide Superpower. The only good switching is a Double Iron Bash for Rotom Heat and Empoleon. So we got Rock Slide and Superpower and Toxic to always be the safe move on the Togekiss that we switch in on, because the Togekiss is undeniably coming. We got, instead of a Bandit set, I think, that we ran last time, we're going to be running a Nasty Plot set with Vacuum Wave, Overheat, Focus Blast, Nasty Plot, and Wise Glasses, oddly enough. Wise Glasses is to be able to get the kill on bulky Garchomp always with Focus Blast. Charcoal was originally Charcoal, which let us have a better chance of OHKOing bulky Mew and Togekiss with a +2 Overheat. But Wise Glasses still allows us to do that, but we just need rocks up first, so yeah, that's going to be the thing. This is our late game sweeper. And we got Dude Bro just chilling. Slack Off, Scald, Calm Mind, Psychic for Venusaur. Scald does a lot of damage. Threaten to burn on Lycanroc and Weavile. This is as long as this isn't Nasty Spot Weavile again, this can be a pretty good stop to it. It's also probably our most consistent switch in to Lycanroc, so that's pleasant. So yeah, that's the team. I think we really need to win this match. If we win, we make it to finals, which is very exciting. And we don't know who we're gonna be fighting in finals. We just know it's not Charles, but it might be Chromia, which would be very unfortunate. It's either, if my memory serves me, it's Chromia Or I think Chromia is fighting. No. Mason, I think. Zach or Mason, one of those. So it's either one of those two or Chromia. So Chromia might defeat us like he did last time in the last playoffs of last season. So but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to focus on winning this one first. So yeah, I'll see you when that happens in a bit. Right, so the match has happened, and here we have the replay. So yeah, let's talk about it. Where's the button? There you go. That way it's more something or other. Never mind. All right, let's look at this. So we got Mew, Lycanroc, Venusaur, Mega Venusaur particularly, Garchomp, Togekiss, and Rotom Heat. So this is basically the same team as last time, but unfortunately, to the dismay of all who are living, no Nasty Plot Weavile. It's a true tragedy, really. But nevertheless, it's about what I'd expected. Nothing really surprising. No Empoleon to really be the surprise threat. But there are a couple of surprises in this game. So, but let's just start off. So, if you look at the team, since there's no Weavile, the only lead that threatens Torn would be like Rotom and Lycanroc. And I'm like 90% sure, and I'm like 99% sure. I have a terrible memory, you see. I think I led Torn T, and I'm like 99% sure I did. And that's because the most likely leads, in my eyes, were Mew and Garchomp, which I didn't want to let them set up, so I would taunt them. But Venusaur was the lead. I don't know exactly why, but I don't much mind it. So we start off, the switch has out, I taunt. Now this Togekiss can't really do any of the weird things that it wants to do. Don't mind the chat, it's not very important. So switches into Garchomp after the taunt, and I click U-turn and go into Slowbro. I should have gone for Scald here, but I go to Calm Mind. It's not a big deal, I just switch into Meow anyway. So that's a free Toxic, which goes into Rotom Heat. Now, this Rotom is Specs, which is very scary, and I don't know why McDuck didn't go for an Overheat. It seems like a pretty obvious move here. My only two resists would definitely die to Specs Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. So I go into Crocodile. Since I don't know this is Specs, I just assume it's like a bulky set with the Will-O-Wisp and stuff. So I switch it in on a T-Bolt, and this allows me to set up rocks. These rocks are going to be very important later. Well, not really, but they're important. So Sludge Bomb does a lot of damage. So this tells me that this Venusaur is definitely offensive, like max special attack modest kind of offensive, you know. So I threaten it out and go for U-turn. But go back into Melmetal. And I read the Rotom switch and go for Rock Slide. It was a very obvious read. The crit didn't matter since this wasn't bulky. Rock Slide would always kill at that range. Now Mew is here. I just Toxic it because it's synchronized. Won't really do anything. It Super Fangs me, so it's whittling me down. But I don't really mind, because as you'll see later. Oh, also we're getting pretty lucky with these paras. We haven't gotten parad once yet, so that's pretty swell. So he switches into Mega Venu for some reason, and takes like a bajillion damage. So I see a synthesis coming undoubtedly. So I go here and I threaten it out. So it goes into Togekiss and I miss an air slash. And I taunt it. It can't defog, so I U-turn now back into Melmetal. That's someone's calling me on my cell phone. Alright, I'm back-ish, yes. So where did we leave off? So Togekiss is taunted. It chipped Melmetal into a 2-hit into KO range. There slash. So I switched to Florges so that we may get a chance to wish it back to full. Yes, that is what happened. So Lycanroc comes in, and for some ungodly reason, he goes for Iron Head, which allows Melmetal to come back to full. Now since I'm Chopple, I could have just stayed in and double Iron Bashed for the funsies, but I didn't do that. So I switched into Slowbro, which was a safer play. So we go for Scald, Togekiss remains unburnt. We go back into the Big Nut, and we get basically a Toxic, free Toxic, onto Garchomp, which I was like 99% sure was coming in because Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin, pretty potent combination, you know. Wait, we're going too fast, we're going too fast, we're going too fast. So I switched, Croc back in, the Chomp goes for Rocks, and I rock back as he goes into Mega Vino. So I know that he's not going to go for Giga Drain on or any grass type move when he knows there's a Tornadus coming in it, and he will never expect me to just stay in as a Crocodile on Mega Venusaur. So I go for a crazy read and Dragon Tail the Venusaur, which gets us some chip and makes it go into Togekiss, which is funky fresh. So I knock off and does even more chip to Mega Venu. Now it really needs to use Synthesis. So which gives us a pretty good turn to go into the bird. So we air slash Togekiss, it does some nice damage. We taunt it so that it can't heal or defog or anything. So just force the air slash. We air slash it, flinch. Now, if I remember correctly, I just keep air slashing and KO Garchomp. Yep, that's what happens. So we're in a pretty good position. Lycanroc Dust comes in, and it goes back into Togekiss, which is a good play from him, a good double. So we double back into the nut, and now we get a free double Iron Bash as long as you don't get Paraflinched, which we do. And since we're getting pretty low, I want to go and wish up the Big Nut with Florges. So here comes the wish. And since I know he's going to be Earth Power, there's no way he isn't on this set. So I can wish into Tornadus, which also covers for a Sludge Bomb. And so I U-turn into Florges again. We're back on Florges. And I try to wish up. Oh no, I Aromatherapy to get rid of the pair so that the pair flinch chances are less prevalent. So I hard switch into Torn, which takes over half from Sludge Bomb. I air slash Togekiss, U-turn, Florges, and I take an air slash. So we wish up again, and since I know he's going to be using Synthesis now, I go into the Big Nut safely and get it back to 64%. So that's pretty good. Okay, so this was a read. He knew I knew that he was Earth Power, and he knew. Wait, I knew that he knew that I knew that he was Earth Power. which means he thought that I wouldn't stay in on an Earth power, and it would use that Earth power chance to go into Torn, which is a good read, and it's also a safe move because I should just barely live thanks to regen, a sludge bomb. But I am a smart cookie, and I know that the safest way for him to make is to just sludge bomb the Torn down with chip to chip it. So I decide to not go into Torn and stay in on the obvious sludge bomb to get a good chip with double iron bash. And now I can go into Torn for free on the synthesis without losing anything. So now I get to taunt, and basically now Torn gets Melmetal gets to come in for free on this Togekiss going for Air Slash. And as long as FLINCH is on our side, we got a good old-fashioned double iron bash. But we don't because Stealth Rocks exist. And now, again, I could have just stayed in here on the close combat, but I didn't want to. It would have definitely won me the game right here if I just done that. I would have been so cool. But I didn't want to chip Melmetal down too hard, because then the Togekiss would have been a nightmare to break. So I double back into Melmetal on a Roost, and basically I get a free double iron bash as long as I don't get flinch. And in fact, Air Slash misses, and we get a crit, which really just softened the wound. So now we got to switch into Torn, take a Sludge Bomb. It barely lives in Air Slash, and it gets flinched. Let's talk about this. This didn't really matter at all. Why? Simple. If Venusaur KO'd Tornadus T, although so I lost Tornadus T, and now Venusaur is at 6%. What would I do then? I'd go into Infernape, Vacuum Wave, and then Vacuum Wave Venusaur, and then Vacuum Wave Lycanroc, and then win the game. So all this does is make a 5-0 into a 6-0, which while a bit unfortunate for good old-fashioned Mr. McDuck, it really didn't matter that much. So yeah, we finish it off with U-turn, and then we KO Lycanroc with Skull after we get flinch for one turn, which was basically his only win con, was to flinch Slowbro down to death. Which didn't happen, thankfully. We just KO'd it with Scald. So yeah, we won, which is honestly pretty surprising. I didn't expect that to happen. Anyway, we're in finals, baby. We got a good old-fashioned chance at winning this season thing. Isn't that wacky-wooey? I think it's pretty wackety-wookety. It's pretty cool, in fact. Really swell. So, I guess I'll see you whenever finals happens. And we'll see if we finally win a season, because that hasn't happened yet. It's pretty exciting. We're going to be fighting either Mason or Chromia. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. And yeah, that's that. That's all, folks.